Hello, this is John from snowwolf.com. It is Monday, October 19th, 2015, and I'm here to talk to you about Bootstrap Studio, a new web design tool for creating responsive websites using the Bootstrap framework. As I have been recently learning Bootstrap, and it's such a massive framework that does so much, the idea of having a design tool to help me build my pages was extremely appealing. So I went out today, this morning, as it's the release day of Bootstrap Studio, and I purchased a copy. It is for today only, $25. The regular price is $50. And you get 1 year of free updates. The first thing I want to highlight about this application is that it's supposed to help web developers and designers create responsive websites using the Bootstrap framework. It's very specifically for Bootstrap. It's very specifically for web developers and designers. What am I? I'm a bit of a web developer. I don't have a designer because it's just me. So I do my own design work or copy templates. This is johndavis.name, which is a single page profile of me that I basically used an existing template to build and modified and tweaked and recolored to my own liking. So I can get around HTML, been doing it for a very long time, can get around CSS, and I'm starting to get around Bootstrap. So let's take a look at Bootstrap Studio. There's a lovely getting started guide, which dumps you right into it. The UI is fairly simple, but very clean. On the left-hand side, you have all the components of Bootstrap that you may need. Actually, it's all of them, to my knowledge. You also have user components, which now on this launch has decided to tell me I don't have any user components. Previously, it does ship with a few that are normally available here. This is the start of what my very most important point of this application. It's very 1.0. Right now, there are a lot of issues with this application. I really want to like it. I really love the idea. But allow me to highlight some text here, press Command-C on my keyboard, and Command-V, and you will notice that nothing is copying and pasting. If I go to Edit, there is no copy and paste option. As I'm fairly confident that they built this application in Electron, as it is available on Windows, Linux, and Mac, it is entirely web-based. I don't know what the actual framework for this application is, but you can go online and you can click Try It Out and get the same basic experience as you would with the real thing. However, things like copy and paste actually work here because they work in your web browser. So, some things are immediately visible in Bootstrap Studio, like this highlighting. That's really annoying. I'd love to turn it off. I'm not a huge fan of this light on dark. I'd love to change that. These components, there's a lot of them. I need to remember them all. I'd love to have a bigger view of them, or as this entire left side of them, but I can't. This overview is also very important when you're rearranging items. You need to have the overview, which is very convenient, but you can't move it around. You can't change that UI. On the right-hand side, these options allow you to do all the wonderful things that you'd expect, like setting the text options or the alignment or color and whatnot. However, this asset's not terribly useful for me. Images and fonts only. I only need that once in a while, and I can't quite get rid of that. So the UI is very limiting. But what do I really like about this? I really like the live preview version. Click this, open in browser. It does launch it on a port, and it's my local IP, so that I could bring this up in an iPhone, for example, or an Android device on my local Wi-Fi. Very handy for development, and it does change in real time. So if I go here and mash some random text in, By the time I tab back, it is changed. For those sort of things, it makes life much easier. However, overall, I feel this application in its 1.0-ness makes life really difficult. This is the HTML and active CSS view. You will notice as soon as I bring this up, I basically can't see any content at all. And since I can't rearrange things other than making it bigger or smaller, and I really do need it a fair size, you just lose too much. You're no longer designing, you're just working on little individual elements. However, when I click on an item, I do see active CSS and all the things that apply to it. That's fantastic. I love this. This is one of the things that I really want out of a Bootstrap Studio, is to know what is applying CSS to an individual element. However, you will notice that this component is like 500 pixels wide. Why is that? Can you tell me really quickly? Well, you can't. It's not actually listed here in the active CSS. However, if you go up a couple levels to the content section, then you might find it. Ah, here it is. Or you can go to the user CSS and you can hunt it down. So you're still hunting CSS down. You still have to walk up levels until you find, maybe it's the section that's applying it. Maybe it's your container. Maybe it's your body. I would love for this tool to show me everything that is applying to this individual element. Maybe it can compact the things that are not in this actual specific ID or class, but that's kind of the problem that I have with the active CSS. Also, say you create a new class, you have to go to user CSS and find that one little specific thing and type in a class. It's going to do text. Hey, this is really nice. Let's see, text, decoration, colon. No, I didn't want decoration. You can hear me mashing on the backspace. It's not going away. So I have to click out, click back in, text. What shadow? No, I don't want that. I want font. Here we go. Font. I want font variant, and I want small caps. Great. I have something here. How do I apply this? Well, theoretically, I'd just go into the options and I would change the class, but I can't. You have to go over here, edit class. It's not auto-completing, which would be nice, but I can change it there, and it does, in fact, apply. And this is another great example of the 1.0-ness. I do, what was that? Font, variant, colon, small caps, enter, enter. Okay. Now that I hit the enter key really hard and twice, it's actually saved it in there. So as you can see, the pop-ups, the auto-complete's really nice, but not everywhere. The fact that you have to go into the HTML to edit the class, kind of annoying. You also can't edit the HTML directly. So, if I wanted to remake johndavis.name in Bootstrap, and I have all this content, first off, I can't copy and paste the text in directly right now because of a glitch in the OS X version. On Windows, copy and paste does work currently. But I would want to take in everything. I have all of this sectioned up and whatnot. I can't copy and paste my content in as is. I can't import my content as is. I can only add components in their specific format. Now, I also have sections of my website here that use a little bit of JavaScript. This doesn't need to be JavaScript, but I have it as such right now. You can't add JavaScript that I've found. Maybe there's a way, but I can't add JavaScript assets to this and have them apply. So I really do have to do a lorem ipsum type, mock it up, then export it. And we'll talk about the export in a second. Additionally, I would like to take these photography sections and turn them into image rotators. That requires me importing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which I currently can't do. So I would have to mock up a single image and replace the content later. So let's do that export though, since we were talking about that. I click export. I've got this export folder already. I've got some random stuff in it. Actually, let's go look at that random stuff, shall we? It's in my handy dandy Atom IDE. And it's got some stuff. What is this? You know what? Let's just bring it up in the web browser, shall we? Yes. This is my attempt at remaking my page here already. That's great. So let's go to export, and because I'm lazy, I'm going to export it to the exact same folder. Click open. And now note, there was no, this has been saved, this has been exported, or, oh, hey, there are files already in the way. No warning, and it's done. Now if I double click on it, it's there. But it stomped all the work that I had done in here without warning. If I change this, and I go back, and I export it again, and I click open, the changes are gone. That scares me. The fact that it will just blindly overwrite anything and everything in a folder scares me. And it doesn't warn you, it just does it. Also, on the export, it does dump out Bootstrap minimized, which is nice, fonts, JavaScript, etc. Okay, that's good. Bootstrap's all there. Let's go to the user CSS. You know what? We can just look at it here, right? It's not minified. So you need to incorporate into your build process, if you want everything minified, to minify it. This particular build is only 50 lines. That's not a big deal, but it's easy for it to be several hundred lines of CSS. There's no option to minimize it. There's no option to save a minimized and non-minimized version, which is a little frustrating. Also, for those of you who are more web developers and used to working in something like Less or Sass, Less is very common because that's what Bootstrap's in, you can't save the Less version. You can't work in the Less version. So again, you're very limited. So at the end of the day, Bootstrap Studio, $25 today. I really want to like it. And I'll pay $25 for it. In fact, I did. But $50, I don't think I would. More problematically, this application is very, very early stage. It's very 1.0. There are just too many flaws and too many issues with it for me to recommend that anyone spend money on it today. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it grows. It has a lot of potential. But if you want to work in Bootstrap right now, I'd say do it in your text editor of choice and open it in a web browser and hit the reload button, because it'll be much more versatile, much more flexible, and you can work in whatever workflow you want. Once again, this is John from snowwolf.com. Thank you very much.